Okay guys, this is one part of 3 little assignments about the assignment you have, 4 little tutorials about the assignment you have for next Wednesday, okay? This is part 1. You can choose which one of this you do, but the first part is about leaves, okay? With the material you have from the trip to the Arboretum, what a nice days, what a nice week. We're going to apply or create a texture that is going to transform this boring little plane into a leaf. Okay, so for instance, I'm going to use this photograph. I did some drawings too. I really care about you like doing whatever type of representation you want. I don't want everything to look the same. I have this object here, and I'm going to use the perspective crop tool from Photoshop. It's like one of the few tools that doesn't have AI, and it's kind of great to correct perspective and therefore to make something look flat. I really like this leaf. And now it's a bit more like squashy, and I'm going to change the size and make it at more like 1080 by 1080. Great. Okay, so that is the leaf that I want to use as a texture. Here's the challenge though. In the case of this leaf, and if I'm using Photoshop, I need to have an image that is black and white to define which parts are transparent and which parts are not. Within Photoshop and any other software, this is called a mask. So I can just click on mask button, which is down here, and to choose color range, for instance. And click where the leaf is. Selection image, I'm going to choose that. I'm going to add some colors, greens, invert. Okay, so that's my first selection, and there are many ways to do this, but basically what this does is that you have an image that you can use as a transparency. So I'm going to come here and click on the mask, which is this layer here, and just press paint with white, and that will make the image appear here. So sorry that I'm doing this kind of fast. Just a note, if you're using something like Procreate, the images will be like they naturally have the drawings are over a transparent background, so you can skip this step. But I'll just demo this very quickly because I'm not even using a mouse, I'm just using my fingers. Okay, so this is my nice leaf. Going to skip till the finish masking part. Okay, now I have this version as good as I can for now, and we will in this case apply the mask. That is, right click on the mask here and say apply layer mask. Now we have a transparent image because it has that nice sort of checkerboard thing. Good. I'm going to save this image, and I'm going to save this as I could save it just as a Photoshop file if I wanted. Also, it could be a TIFF file. I would recommend saving as a PNG file. In general, PNG files have like great transparent background, so I'm gonna name it leaf and save it here and go into Blender. Okay, So here we have the thing, we have to prepare the thing being the square, right? We have to prepare a few things before we can actually make a square out, like a leaf out of this. First, the material. So we go into Material tab, we select New, we say Leaf, and we enable a couple of things that we need to enable. So that is screen space refraction, and someone passed by, so I got a bit distracted. Screen space refraction and transparency, so that is below. Sorry, blend mode, set it to alpha blend, shadow mode alpha blend, or alpha hashed, or alpha clip is okay. Let's put the same, two in alpha clip. Okay, the point of this is that this way, if there is transparency in the texture, it's gonna be visible as transparency. Now we go into shading, like you practiced before, or if you can't drag it, which sometimes happens, you add input text, search, image, texture, press enter, then click on open, going to desktop, select the leaf, connect to base color, there you should see the leaf. Now, it's still not transparent, right? The transparency, it's a channel, which is called the alpha channel. So you just need to make it transparent, to connect alpha to alpha. And now it is a transparent leaf, which is pretty nice. Again, in the materials, if it's not working, it's because you need to have alpha clip enabled here under settings, alpha clip. Other tricks that you might be interested in doing, if you go into the same Photoshop, and this happens with any type of file, and you do filter 3D generate normal map, press OK, it will create an image that is called a normal that you can save as leaf normal. And then go into Blender and copy this by pressing Shift D, opening this, selecting the leaf normal file, adding, did Shift A, adding a normal map, connecting normal to normal the same way you did with alpha, and connecting color of this to that normal map. Make sure that this says raw instead of RGB, and that way you have like a more complex normal map. I will go back here and check on the leaf, and here's the leaf. It's pretty decent. Some things that the leaf might have, you might want to give it a bit more complexity, so you can go into edit mode, press Control R and make it a bit more complex. Like pressing Control R allows you to create a loop. So I created this loop, and now I'm like trying to playing out with the leaf a bit so that it has some more volume to it. And I want it to like fall a bit on one side, and then I can, even if I want to, just add a modifier and do some subdivision. It's still pretty low poly, but you can even sculpt it now. You always, if you want to see the texture, you need to go into rendered or material preview. Here I'm gonna use material preview, press F, check the elasticity form, just help the whole leaf be a bit more. It's a big leaf, right? So help it being a bit more precise. So that's how you make a leaf. Okay, now this is applicable to any kind of texture. And notice that it was kind of easy and we didn't have to do UV maps or none of that stuff, because certain shapes like squares come with a UV map that is very straightforward. This is a square, so the UV map is just a simple projection. The next one will be cylindrical projection.